No, we are not sitting and filming in the same area of my room as last time because the rest of my room is littered with stationery supplies. Who do you think I am? A creative? A messy creative? Whatever that means. Oh, and yes, I did bring my empty cup today. But I will not torture you with empty cup sipping video. I promise. Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Artie and we are back with another bullet journal video. I did want to go ahead and keep this intro very short today because this video is going to be really long, but I decided to keep the intro in just because I did do my makeup and I didn't want that to go to waste, and I just wanted to say hi. So hi! I really hope you guys like my new bullet journal setup for 2021. Okay, so I already know this video is about to be really long, so again, just bear with me. So, we are into the new year and we want to get our bullet journal set up. There is a system that I follow when I am migrating into either a new journal or switching over to a new journal in the middle of the year. So I go through which page spreads that I actually ended up using and which I didn't use. So as you can see, I loved this page. I liked my grid sheet, but it's going to be a little bit different this year. It's going to be more catered to me and how I create most of my page spreads. So it's not going to be the typical thirds, fourths, like from all the way to the edge to this edge. Like that's not how I make my spreads, and so more on that later. And so my future log, I absolutely loved this idea, so I'm gonna move that over. My period tracker, I loved that. This is my bujo ideas, YouTube ideas, essentially ideas for content creation. I like that I separated them out, and so I am gonna go ahead and use that. And then my goals to accomplish, I am definitely going to transfer that over because I like getting a visual representation on what I want to intentionally have my year look like. My plant tracker, as you can see, I had to add in a page because I got way more plants than I thought I was going to have. And so that is going to have a particularly new tracker, which I'm super excited about. The things I look up, see, I did not fill this out, like barely. I mostly write things in my phone, and then I don't know, I just don't end up filling them out. So the things that I did end up writing in, I'm going to go ahead and transfer those over. We are in a worldwide pandemic, so I didn't visit very many places. So I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and transfer that one over. I could just add it in later. So we will see on that one. For now, I'm not doing it. I did like my quotes page, but we'll see what we're gonna do with that. My habits to adopt, as you can see, I did not use it at all. So I don't know, I might condense everything into one page spread. So let's see where we go with this one. Plants wish list, I do not need any more plants. So I don't think I'm going to be recreating this page spread. And then the stuff I want or the stuff I need, I am making another version of this, but it's going to be condensed down. And then let's see what else we got. Self-love affirmations. I absolutely adore this page so much because, of course, I know if you guys have been here for a little bit, you know how much I care about my mental health, and it really matters to me, and so it's almost like a given for me to have a page like this. I really recommend it. For me, it helps to be able to write down the things that I cannot see clearly in myself in a particular moment of really down energy or a depressive episode. So for me to write something down, even if it's just one thing in that depressive episode that I'm having, it helps me see that there is going to be a time in the future where I am going to get out of this episode. There's always going to be a way out. This feeling will always pass. And so if I can just see one bright thing in my life, in myself, in my future, it helps. I mean, it's helpful to see and think positively. It might not create the most lasting change just to think positively. Of course, we have to take action, but I think making a page like this is an action in itself. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about my new journal, which I'm super excited about. I get these journals off of AliExpress. You can also get them on Amazon. They're very similar to the Archer and Olive journals, but they are a little bit cheaper. I feel like they're pretty similar to the Archer and Olive journals. So the brand is Sekes. I could link it down below if you guys want to check them out. So I just picked another one up from them, and this one is a black one. I haven't had a black one since my first year of bujoing. This is my first black one. And that one, actually, this one is from Archer and Olive. Now we're gonna go ahead and switch over to a more speedy video with me filling out all the spreads I want to transfer over, and then we're gonna go ahead and start in my brand new journal. So I'm really excited, and I hope you guys like it. Okay, so let's get started. So this page is basically me just organizing my thoughts and figuring out which page spreads I want to transfer over from my 2021 bullet journal over to my 2021 bullet journal, and if I want to go ahead and add any new page spreads that I decided would fit my lifestyle a little bit better. So some of the things that I am transferring over are my plant tracker. I added a quote page in there, my calendar, of course, future log, and grid sheet, and my period tracker. And then some of the newer ones are actually a reading tracker and hobbies I'd like to explore, but it's a little bit more condensed down, and we will go in more detail and in depth when we get to that page in this video. So I just made this page super minimal and wanted to go ahead and just do it really quickly. So I just used my normal Sakura Tombow Futonoskis and my Tombow dual brush pens, added some washi in there, and once I complete the page, I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. So now we are moving on to the first page of my new bullet journal, and in this page I just keep it very simple. I added the quote, "The most important thing we could do in our lifetime is to spread joy and love," and I really try to live by this motto. And so then the next page is just the first page, and I made a super minimal Hello 2021 little doodle with some cute washi tapes, and now we are moving on to the first quote page, and this quote says, "This year I get to embrace my imperfections." Last year I wrote, "This year I get to fall in love with myself," and I really do think that 2021 was a year where I got to explore really falling in love with myself, because I did get it out of a relationship at the end of 2019, and it was one of the first years where I just remained completely single, and this is, of course, thanks to the pandemic where dating wasn't really that much possible. So it was nice to be able to be by myself and really get to explore what I loved within myself. And so this year, of course, you know, I have many flaws that I want to learn to really embrace. And so I thought maybe this year's intention would be to fall in love with my imperfections. So I basically switched from different Sakura fine liners with the doodling and the lettering, and then I used a Sakura Professionals to fill in all the blacks. I am using a Zebra mild liner for the greens, and then the Tombow dual brush pens for any neutral area in this quote page, and just added a bunch of washi all over this page. Last year I made it super minimal, no washi, but lately I have just been so obsessed with washi, and I just can't not make a page with washi on it. So you are going to see a lot of washi tape in this 2021 bujo setup. So now we are moving on to the 2021 calendar page, and I made the font of the calendar just very sophisticated and minimal, and then just basically blocked out each month and went ahead and wrote in the numbers of each month. I don't know how else to explain that, but I just decided to keep it super minimal, and I got this cute grid patterned construction paper and cut it up, and it kind of looked like washi. I didn't have this color washi, and I just glued it over to the top, and then went ahead and highlighted the titles of the month with the Tombow dual brush pen in a neutral color. And so now we are moving on to the grid sheet. And I didn't number, so I went ahead and numbered the grid sheet from every edge, from one edge to the other edge. Sorry, I cannot speak today. And usually I don't make my page spreads from all the way across. I usually leave a big border around the main content of my page spread. So I kind of used that as a way to make this grid sheet. And I don't know, I feel like a grid sheet should be a personal thing that everyone should figure out what works like best for them. So I'm not going to really go into too much detail with it. So we are now moving on to the future log. And so most of the time when I create this future log, it's just, you know, I make all the tasks all fit into one single column, whereas this year I really decided to keep my tasks that involve my personal life and my tasks that involve my work life separate. So the first half of my future log, the top half of this page, is my tasks that involve my personal life. So this could be like birthdays, it could be parties, it can be events I need to attend. And then the second half of the future log, so the bottom part of the page, is basically any content that I need to create on a monthly basis. So for example, if I need to make a plan with me video every single month, I'm going to put that into the second half of this page, and this will help me keep things a lot more organized and help me keep track of it a little bit better, and it's not, my work life isn't really getting confused with my personal life. So I just used a 03 fine liner for the borders, and then I used a 01 Sakura for the numbers, and my Tombow Fudenosuke for the lettering of the months, and basically just highlighted using a dual brush pen, and then added some grid washi and made it super cute and minimal and neutral, just how I like it. And so now we are moving on to the content collab page. This page is super minimal, and I do collaborations with brands and I do giveaways, so I kind of wanted to go ahead and log that in just to be able to document it and see how far I've come in terms of working with brands. And I'm using that same construction paper that I used for my calendar page actually, and added a cute little botanical, and I thought that page came out super pretty. So now we are moving on to the period tracker page, and I am so happy that I decided to create a page like this in my bullet journal. Before, I used to actually track it, well, I tried at least to track it on a phone app, but that really did not work for me at all because it was just one more app that I needed to keep track of. And because I use my bullet journal literally every single day, I thought, why not just put it in my bullet journal? And so I love this page so much because now I can seriously just look at honestly just look at when my period is about to start and kind of prepare mentally and physically for my mood swings and my cravings and just because I'm probably going to be irritated with everyone I love, and because I know around when this is going to happen, it really helps me just mentally prepare. And plus, if I go to the doctor, I can whip out my bullet journal and just, when they ask me, oh, when is your menstrual cycle, I can just tell them right then and there by looking in my bullet journal. So I love this page so much, and basically the writing utensils that I used for this page have been the same and are going to be the same throughout the entire 2021 bullet journal setup. And I just added some cute little doodles about like what comforts me during my period. So like chocolate, candles, soup, tea, and I added some cute little bees and some sparkles. And of course some washies. So now we are moving on to the intentions page, and this is similar to my goals I'd like to accomplish from last year, but this year I'd like to have called them intentions just to get a more gentle approach to the year. And I used very neutral colors, a very neutral look and a minimal look, and some of the categories I've added in are like YouTube, spiritually, how do I want to evolve, well, we're not going to travel pretty much because we're still in a pandemic, but I just added that in there just in case. And then I added relationships and my health, and then so those were just some of the ideas I added, and then I highlighted every title, added some washies, added some cute little spiritual-esque doodles, like crystals and like a crescent, how do you say that? A crescent, there you go, a crescent moon. Okay, so now on to one of my favorite page spreads that I've ever created. This is my plant tracker, my watering tracker for my plants. This page has helped me so much in keeping my plants alive, because I would literally not know the last time I watered my plants. And if you are a plant enthusiast, you know that you can't really like water your plants on a weekly basis. It really depends on the type of plant it is. It depends on the weather. It depends on like the type of soil the plant is in. And so keeping track of the last time I watered my plant really helps, because it helps me not either overwater my plant or underwater my plant. So I just added a cute watering can doodle on the top, and I decided to make this a Dutch door type of layout, just to keep things kind of on one page spread, but definitely have that option of having more pages within the one spread. And I've never done a Dutch door before, so this was my first time. And I just loved the idea of having a little tiny booklet inside of a big booklet. So it was just really fun for me to create this page, and I separated each line out to make it easier for me to see which plant I am filling out the water schedule for using a Tombow brush pen. And I used very neutral colors. I used a zebra mild liner for the top and bottom border, and then I used a Tombow brush pen number 942 for the lines that separate the plant names in the Dutch door. And I seriously love this brush pen so much. I literally used it in every single one of my page spreads. So I believe I created 3 pages that I cut out in order to create the Dutch door. And so I used in total 5 pages to make this plant tracker Dutch door bujo spread. So a quick little tip about the Dutch doors. I found that making the page spread before I cut it out was a lot easier than making the page spread after I cut it out because of the borders. I didn't want my inks to leak over the edge of the Dutch door. So hopefully that tip helps you guys out too. So I've added some cute little plant doodles on the top right hand corner of this bujo spread. I just used my own plants as a inspiration for the type of plants that I doodled here. And recently I've been getting into making macrame plant hangers, and so I thought it would be a cute idea to add that into this plant tracker page. And the colors that I used to color in the doodles were a zebra, mildliner, and gray for the leaves, and then I switched between neutral Tombow brush pens and Crayola super tips for the pots. And then I basically just finished it off by cutting the last couple pages that were left. So let me know if you guys are plant enthusiasts, how many plants you have, your favorite plant in the comments. I would love to know, and then we could just geek out on plants together. And of course, this page wouldn't be complete if I didn't add some washies on the top right hand corner. So now we are moving on to the Bujo's idea page and the YouTube ideas page. I did add both of these page spreads in my 2020 bujo setup, and I loved it so much that I put it into the 2021 bujo setup as well. I love both of these pages because as soon as I get an idea for bullet journaling or for YouTube, I go ahead and jot it down on these pages. And when I wasn't doing this before, they were literally scattered in my phone, in my notes app, all over the place, and I literally could not access what I had come up with in that particular moment. So having it down in my bullet journal really helps me not kind of go into creative block when I am about to create something. So for my bujo ideas, I added 3 columns, and it says productivity in the first column, and I added a little clock, themes in my second, and I added a cute little doodle of a bike. And then in my third column, I added art and reels, and then I added a little tea bag. And then for my YouTube ideas, the first column has my bullet journal ideas. Second column is spirituality, because I love being a spiritual person and exploring my spirituality, of course. And then my third is miscellaneous. And I loved this idea of adding washi as a border, so I did that as well. And so now we are moving on to the reading tracker. And I've never created a bujo page spread that involved reading, because recently during the pandemic, I got back into reading. I loved reading as a kid, and then as I got older, that whole idea of reading kind of left me. I thought I didn't have time for it, and thank God, for the pandemic, because I think we had so much time on our hands, and lonely vibes set in, and we got to kind of think back to our childhood. At least for me, I got to think back to my childhood and really get to explore what I like to do as a child and implement that into my life now. And I love reading a lot. I want to create a book club with you guys, and that's currently in process of starting in January of next year. So I'm really excited about that. And essentially the columns I created were the name of the book, author of the book, date, and the date started and date completed. And then I added a section for book club, thoughts, and then on the bottom here is my tracker of the pages I will be completing, obviously, in that month. And so now we are moving on to this super condensed down page spread of things to look up, my wish list, and hobbies to explore. So last year I created 3 different page spreads on each of these topics, and this year I just decided to go ahead and keep them on one page. And I think it's pretty straightforward, the utensils I used and the washies and the colors I used, because I've been using the same ones throughout the whole entire bullet journal setup, and they will all be linked down below for you guys to see. And so here is my love affirmations page, and I really loved this concept of adding some of the things I love, which are plants. And then below it is a mirror that you are not seeing right now yet. After I finish up these doodles, you will see it. But I created a mirror doodle because I wanted this to be a symbol of self-reflection and loving myself. You know, there was a time when I wasn't in love with myself. I would look in the mirror and not be able to say I love you, not be able to see the beauty within me, and kind of only judged myself based on the beauty of my outsides. And so, you know, today I could honestly say that when I look in the mirror, I can, you know, not always find myself as this beautiful person, but I can definitely say I love you to myself, and I think that's really important. So I just added some cute washies the same ones I've been using throughout this whole bujo spread, and so now we are moving on to the monthly review page. I did not create this page spread before. I thought this year it would be really cool for me to look back at every month and jot down the things I've learned, keep track of the themes that I have explored onto basically one page. I think that this would be a cute way and an organized way to document my life for this year. And essentially I just used the same two colors I've been using, the Gray Zebra Mild Liner and the Tombow Fudenoski 942. And I added some cute little washies up on top and highlighted each month in a different color. And here is the final flip through of the 2021 bullet journal setup. I had so much fun with this. I tried to keep it very, very minimal. Last year it was very black and white, and this year I decided to add a little bit more color into it. It's very neutral. I loved the grid washies that I've added, and I just had a lot of fun with it, and I definitely believe that this setup will come a lot more in handy than some of the spreads that I used last year, because I decided to condense things down a little bit more, and I just love how I added a little bit of pink in there. And actually this was the first time I used Dutch doors, which was really fun and exciting for me. I don't know if you guys have used Dutch doors before, but it's like a mini journal inside of a big journal, and that's really cute to me. And this reading tracker I'm super excited to use. I'm gonna have a Patreon book club coming out in January, and I hope whoever joins is excited for that. And I think that's pretty much it. I added this monthly review in, so this one will definitely be fun. It's a new spread that I haven't added before. So if you guys end up using any of these pages, let me know. Thank you. Well, that was it for the 2021 setup. I really hope you guys liked it. You know, I did want to talk about one more thing before we go. I really tried to simplify and cater my bullet journal setups for 2021 to really fit my true needs. I think sometimes we look at other bullet journalers and we see their page spreads and we think, hey, maybe those page spreads might be enough for us. And I think this typically happens in the beginning, and that's okay. I think that it's a process and it's a journey of self-discovery. So I encourage you to check in with yourself and really ask yourself, okay, is this something that I am just doing because it is trending, or is it something I'm doing because it really fits my lifestyle? So you may inspire off of my page spreads and you may not, and that's okay too. But if you find that you know, my page spreads really fit with your lifestyle and you end up using them and trying them out, then tag me at Leela Journals on Instagram. I would love to see them and post them on my story. So I really think that this video probably got to be too long, so I'm just gonna go ahead and end it right here. I hope you guys have a beautiful day today, wherever you guys might be in the world. And remember, you are truly so worthy. And if no one told you they loved you today, remember, I love you.